The design here calls for this area in the middle of the screen to be lawn. There are a number of ways to indicate lawn or grass. You could draw a polyline, as I've done now, just a rough polyline in one corner, and then you could hatch that polyline. If we pick the grass hatch pattern from the CAD ISO pattern file, I'll give it a scale of 10 and OK. In goes our hatch pattern. We could then remove the hatch pattern and we have an indicator for grass there up in one corner. We could do the same again, draw hatch this area here as a scale of 10, and again remove the polyline once it's done. And then when we go into the A3 landscape plan, you can see the grass lawned area is indicated by that hatch pattern. That's one way to do it. You can change the scale, of course, of your grass hatch patterns. Let's erase that and examine another method. The area of the grass here is delineated by a polyline. The polyline around through here has been broken, and when that happens you get an awful lot of control points in there. But I digress. We could say we would like that polyline filled, so we can come over here and say it's going to be a closed polyline, and yes, closed, yes, and filled, yes, and now that grassed area has been filled, and clearly it shows a very bright green. But we can come back to the model and select it and set our transparency to say 75, which is about a 30% transparency. And now when we come to the landscape plan, you can see that's the area that's going to be lawned. You could, of course, have combined those two. You remember when we drew the small polyline areas, you could fill those polyline areas in the same way. So I guess what I'm trying to illustrate is that there are a number of ways of indicating areas, and closed polylines can be a very, very effective way of indicating use for particular areas.